Chapter 12. Plum. I knew it would take Ko some convincing, but I hoped love would be enough. Scratch that. I hoped the cost of my absence was enough. Of course, floating in my mind, in the periphery, was Ma, all the questions I asked myself to uncover why she left. But truthfully, the questions never involved her. They always circled back to me, as though I had the power in my small child body to loom that large. I asked if I bored her. I asked if I misbehaved too often. I asked if I wasn't white enough. I asked if my face wasn't sweet enough to miss when it wasn't in front of her. I asked if I was too much. I suppose the worst part of it is that there is never a satisfying answer. One night, Ko and I met at the park, our usual. We emptied our canvas totes filled with sandwich Ziploc baggies stuffed with granola bars and crackers, old plastic grocery bags weighed down with Capri Sun pouches and packets of trail mix. Ko leaned our loot against our favorite weeping willow, the one we always whispered to, the closest we ever got to prayer. Please let us always love each other. Please let our parents never discover us. Please keep our secret from those who would tear us apart. And then, the one I never said aloud, please make her stay. I grabbed Ko's hand and walked her to our favorite dirty park bench, its red paint faded and chipping on the bottom from overuse while the forest dwellers crept their arms around the body of the tree from behind to grab the bags of snacks, then scampered away like the animals they slept with. Ko, I have to talk to you about something, I said softly. That night, afraid, my eyes shifting to the stars overhead, she briefly freed her hand from mine to touch my cheek, then brought it back. Plum, you okay? Ko peered into my eyes, her own a pair of delicate question marks. She could see that something was up. I gingerly grabbed a section of her long, dark hair, as dark as mine, and twisted it around my finger nervously. She loosened her hair from my finger and grabbed my hands. Hey, just talk to me, okay? What's going on? I can't do it anymore. I can't stay there one more minute. I won't make it. Will you come with me? I retrieved one of my hands to run my fingers nervously through my short hair, rubbed the back of my neck while I waited for her response. Ko looked up to the sky. I kept staring through, thinking. I tried to remember to breathe in and out, in and out. She sucked air through her teeth. I tried not to jump to conclusions. About the space between my plea and her response. Tried to explain it to my heart as it bounced everywhere but in my chest. Whoa, that's a lot. Damn. I know he's difficult, but where will we go? You sure you've thought this through? I have. I'm running out of options. My eyes shifted from left to right and everywhere in between. Ko touched my face again, and my eyes recentered back on hers. I totally get it, by the way, if you can't, but the anxiety of it is all killing me. I mean, I keep thinking, if he ever found out about us, I don't know what My voice broke, then into a mixture of weeping and incomprehensible speech. I didn't know what I'd survive less, staying with Ba or Ko gone from my life forever. Both felt inconceivable, but in wholly different ways. It's okay, shh. Ko stroked my head for several minutes, trying her best to soothe me. But she knew, partly, how useless it was, that it was Ba, that it was this, that there was no recovering from what he would make of my secret. I gathered myself before I spoke again. I mean, we could stay here or at a shelter. We could get jobs and rent a room and maybe an apartment, and then who knows? Queers have done this going back years and years and years. I know I'll be okay as long as you're with me, as long as I'm far away from him. He lost it the other night when I was out with you. Of course, he didn't know what I was actually up to, but I could feel his suspicion boring into my skull. I just feel like the longer we sneak around, the harder it's going to be to keep him from figuring it out. I just don't know what the fuck he'd do. I'm honestly petrified he'll just snap. I don't want to be on the other side of that, you know? Please. I begged her, which was a bit humiliating, but I was desperate. I didn't know if I could go through with it on my own. I needed Co. After my mother left, it was terrifying to need anyone. I couldn't conceive of what Ba would do. I was too afraid to imagine it, but I couldn't go out into the world without Co either. It took some convincing, but by the time Co and I parted that night, we had agreed we'd both leave home the same night in 2 weeks and meet back up at our bench. When I went to bed that night, I crossed all my fingers and toes like a child, hoping she wasn't saying what I wanted to hear, but that she meant it. I felt silly, but hope was all I had to push forward.